Getting started, we got the Go Mobile Tire Service guys out here helping us get tires on the Huracan's set of drag racing wheels. So this is our drag racing setup, and Kyle needed new tires pretty much all the way around on his car as well. So they're getting us totally hooked up and ready for our track day tomorrow. So as always, there's going to be a link in the description. Check out their website, see if there's a Go Mobile service near you. You know, they can come right to you and help you out with your car, your tire needs, all that great stuff. It's such a good service and they're always helping us out. I want to help them out as much as I can. Got all our tires on our wheels and got that set up. Kyle's got his back on his car. So today's episode is going to be pretty low key. A lot of working on the Huracan and then making sure that the two cars are good to do the hour-and-a-half drive out to our track. So they're going to be testing, and if anything goes wrong, I'll let you know, which some stuff already has, and I got to update you guys on that. And then we're going to be working on the Huracan. So Oscar, well, here, I'll show you. A couple days ago, Oscar found a broken transmission bracket that we needed to replace, and it came in from eBay today, so Oscar's getting that replaced before he does a little bit of test driving. Kyle's swapping out a broken side mirror that we have. The guys over at Mullins hooked us up with a new one. I'll put a link in the description. Mullins is a used parts yard that's off France, and they hooked us up with a new side mirror, so I'll throw a link in the description. Thanks to those guys for helping us out, and Kyle's already got this unbolted. Comes right off. Just gonna throw the new one on there. Oh yeah, look at that. They just sent us a whole new mirror, so all we gotta do is switch out that cover over there for black and we're good to go. Wow, this color kind of matches your car. Car's a little darker, but not bad. And the other thing Kyle's got to do is knock down this lip right here. I'm sure a lot of you BMW owners that are running bigger wheels know this life. This has been cutting into his tire a little bit, so it's going to go ahead and knock that down a little bit. So that's just small problems that we've caught before we really got started with anything too serious. Now, on to the Huracan. Damn, I love this car. This is engineering insanity at its greatest. So here's what we got to get started on. This thing, when we took it to the last dyno session, it was a tuning dyno session, and we went for power pulls, and we didn't really do a lot of tunability on the usability scale for like low speed drivability, low RPM, and low throttle driving. So I'm gonna try my best to tune a lot of that stuff up right now. Now that I have a dyno, I actually decided to take some classes online to learn how to tune better. So I'm about halfway through the classes. Haven't done them all yet, but I've learned a lot of stuff, and I'm excited to try and apply it to this. And you know, this is all very safe stuff because we're talking about low load on the engine and low RPM scale, so we're not like in boost doing a bunch of crazy stuff. And actually that crazy stuff's already pretty well dialed in on this car, so that's a good thing. So I'll give it my best shot and we'll see where it lands. I'll save the base thing, and then if I make it worse, I'll just reload the map that we have on there right now, and we'll just be back where we started. All right, so we learned a lot of things over the last hour or so. First one, we were missing a spark plug. A spark plug was unplugged down there because I was reading on one of our wideband sensors. So we have two wideband sensors in here. You can see there's one there and there's one over there. One of them was reading that we had tons of extra fuel in it, and that was because there was a spark plug. Obviously, if the spark doesn't spark the fuel in a cylinder, we're gonna have extra fuel reading through the exhaust. So we fixed that, and then also you can see on our fuel pressure regulator now we have a digital sensor that reads fuel pressure, and it's reading back to the system, and I need to raise the fuel pressure up. The only problem is right now is the car at idle runs very, very rich because we have huge injectors to be able to handle all the horsepower. So raising the fuel pressure up is actually going to kind of hurt the problem a little bit. So I might have to retune a lot of that bottom end stuff, but this is kind of special system in the way that it works with volumetric efficiency tuning. Sometimes you can change fuel things and not end the world. Not have to retune everything is what I mean. Oscar just got back from his first drive. How many fault codes you got?
None anymore.
Really?
Check this out though.
What'd you melt? Oh, there you go. You gonna give it a test?
Yeah, I want to see what it sounds like. It is way too loud.
Yeah. So Oscar drove down the street and it was insanely loud. So I guess we're gonna do a test run. This isn't permanent. Yeah, go ahead and fire it up.
Yeah, they fit perfectly.
Did you have any bad codes, or was it just?
No,
just basics, right? Because I actually looked at your codes earlier with the computer.
It was unhappy about the O2 sensors. That's about it.
Oh, well, it shouldn't be unhappy about those.
It's reading too much
fuel.
Too much emissions.
Oh, because it's straight pipe. Oh, because we lost the catalytic converter along the side of the road. It broke off. Anyways, okay, let's start it up, and I'll watch you shoot these things off. Then I'll put them back on for you. Yeah, dude, you need mufflers.
I need those.
Yeah, you really need those. That sounds great. Give it a little RPM.
Yeah.
That's such like a change.
That is so so much better.
Yeah, you need that. Like if you're gonna drive this car around a lot, which I really hope you do, you need that those mufflers.
That's like night and day difference right there.
Yeah, like it was like, go ahead and drive around the block, you're gonna get pulled over in a heartbeat to, this is tame.
Yeah, my hearing was muffled after driving this car.
It was like half deaf. All right, cool. So mufflers are going on the Mustang. Well, that's good. We found some mufflers for Oscar, and because he really needed them, and it's kind of in the theme of the scrap car because those were actually bought for the Datsun 240Z with the V10 swap, and we never used them. We just used resonators. With that being said, I really wish we could bring the Datsun out for the autocross, but I really want to get the Huracan out for more testing before I get it out on the streets. So someday though, especially if this goes well with our rental and everything, we'll get that Datsun out there and give it a try. There's random people showing up to the shop. I hate that I have to say this, guys, but just like any other YouTuber, we cannot have people come in off the street uninvited over to our shop. We just can't have that happen. So anyways, guys, I got some pretty boring, very technical tuning stuff that I'm going to handle outside, getting the fuel system set, and then I'm going to bring it inside, get it on the dyno, and do some load testing. I'll catch up with you guys there. Hopefully, if all goes well and I start to feel pretty comfortable with this, now we have a fuel pressure sensor in there that we can build into a fail-safe into the ECU. So that will allow me to do a high power pull, not having to worry about the fuel pressure, which was our main problem last time. So I might be able to go for that 1,000 horsepower pull. That's the goal we've always set for this car. That would be really fun. So fingers crossed. All right, we got the Burntacan into the dyno room. We've done a couple small changes. We changed our ventilation strategy. So I got a super high powered fan trying to suck away from the exhaust, and then we got all these. Now we have actually a lot better airflow, so hopefully it won't kill me while I'm in here. And then Oscar replaced our coolant temperature sensor. Now this was functioning, but it was broken, so we want to replace it before our track day so we have reliability, obviously. So now I'm going to go ahead and jump in here and start working on some of the kind of low RPM drivability stuff. It's actually pretty damn good as it sits right now, but the previous guy that tuned this said, oh, it's going to be really rough and you shouldn't street drive this or anything like that, and it's like, it's not bad. It's really not that bad. So I'm just going to see if I can fine tune anything throughout some of the low load RPM ranges, and also test out our new boost solenoid, which is going to control the amount of boost that we get. So I'm going to make sure that the computer can control that correctly and we're hitting our targets there as well. Well, I thought I had the camera on. Turns out I didn't. We went to do some higher horsepower stuff, so you can see this is around 550 horsepower. Just test pulls, we're testing the wastegates and stuff like that. And then I caught the car on fire. Luckily, we didn't have to use our fire extinguishers, but it seems like something was on the wrap, and these things got like red hot with the wastegates wide open. We were just shooting flames out the top of here, and well, the wrap caught on fire. So now I'm scared. I'm very scared, and I'm feeling like for a 1,000 horsepower car, like this space just ain't it. The exhaust was so powerful, it pushed that thing up into itself and closed it off, and wastegates were just blasting stuff into the ceiling. I don't know, but I got more tuning to go, so yeah, now I need a spotter. I gotta have somebody man the fire extinguishers while I try this stuff. So far, so good though. Things are looking pretty good. Most of the mid-range stuff is actually turning out to be pretty great. So yeah, really now I just am kind of playing around with tuning the wastegate to see if I can try for a 1,000 horsepower pull. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about is when you have a hub dyno like this, it's a load-based dyno. So what we're basically telling it is like we want to go from this RPM to about 1,000 more RPM, 6,500 RPM over a certain time frame. When your car kind of overpowers the estimated load that the dyno has set up for itself, it's got to kind of change the load that it's putting on your hub and hold your car back a little bit more. And my car really, turbocharged cars in general really don't like that. And my car, being as violent and as crazy it is, like really doesn't like that. We run a little extra rich, puts a little bit extra fuel in here, and we just start launching bombs out the wastegates. So it's a little sketchy, and it really heats up our manifolds like super hardcore. So what I need to do is kind of get a better estimated time for the pull that the dyno is going to take, so that the dyno and the car are a little bit more in sync. I will not forget to film the next one. Kyle, what happened to your car?
Very light.
Somebody backed into your car on the first drive. Where'd you go?
I went onto the highway down 185th, right in front of the boat store. No, they backed into the front. So
Oh, they backed into the front. I was like, where'd they back into the?
it's very slight, but I mean the bumper's fixed.
What?
Like, it's cracked right down here.
Oh my God. What
Yeah,
are the odds?
They had a WRX just like mine, they took it out of neutral, or took it out of gear. Didn't realize that the car was just
slowly rolling backwards and slowly.
I honked the horn. They didn't do anything.
No, it didn't click, and then they just.
Wow. So did you get their insurance information?
Oh yeah, I got their insurance information.
That small crack in that bumper might cost more than this car cost us to buy. Should we salvage the car out again? Wow, that's crazy. We just. Well, first of all, I'm glad your car is really running and not going to be like it's still going to be fine for our track day tomorrow. Yeah. Second of all, what are the odds that your car gets hit on the first? Remember when we were in high school and I had that 300ZX and I got it right back from the body shop? We went to this party and this girl's grandma went to go on a beer run and smashed into my car. And it was like, that was a brand new car. So that's funny. We just put insurance on this car like an hour ago. Well, small crack, lots of money. They get to buy us a new custom bumper that yeah, anyways. I'm just glad the car's okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you're okay.
Yeah.
Oscar finished his exhaust out and it's it's pretty cool, man. I just shot a little video of it and put it on Instagram driving behind him. It looks really rad, so that's good. And oh, you want to show him how it sounds?
Yeah.
His car's warmed up. We just went for a drive down to the grocery store and so it's nice. It's not too loud. This is me at my normal talking volume. It's not obnoxious. And then give it some revs. It's good. It's really, really good. I like that. Now, we want to show you this other thing that Oscar just figured out. It's kind of crazy. So, Oscar, I'll let you go ahead and describe the situation. So it's like,
whenever I would get up to 40, 50 miles per hour, it had this issue where it would just surge.
At like when you were like at low throttle, right? You weren't like matting, you were just like kind of letting it just cruising speed.
Cruise, yeah.
Yeah, it was surging, and he found out he tried building a little DIY like air shield to stop air from like flying at the air filter, kind of in a weird way. Basically, like too much airflow hitting the air filter from a weird way rather than sucking it in non-turbulently, and
it seems to have fixed it.
Yeah, so we just went on a test drive and he's like, it totally fixed it. Now I got to build something. So we'll go ahead and watch Oscar build something to block that off while I go learn stuff about boost controllers on the Huracan. We've let everything cool down. I programmed a bunch of fail-safes into the ECU and changed the boost controller up a little bit. Oscar still needs to drive test the thing that you just saw him build, which, why don't we show you that right now? Oscar decided that zip ties is just the way to mount this thing on here. I mean, it's actually on there really tight. So anyways, just blocking this air from smashing right into that thing and hopefully not bringing in any turbulent air. One thing that we've learned with these Coyotes is that they are really, really sensitive to turbulent air coming through the air filter and messing with that mass airflow sensor reading. So back to the Huracan, I will not forget to hit record, and I think we're gonna just go for a power pull and double check that our wastegates are operating at the right duty cycle and everything is doing what we think it's gonna do. And yeah, we're gonna give it the beans right now. And if it cuts out, then we'll know that something went wrong. Is frightening when you were in the car or in this room at all. It's like, it's pretty scary.
Too small of a room for too much power.
Yeah, but here we are. Here's where we got to, 4,500 RPM. We are at 653 horsepower. It's a lot. what I did, that last pop that you saw at the end there, that was me setting up a boost protection. So it was set at 25 pounds of boost. It got up to a maximum of 27, and then it shut everything down as we wanted, so I wouldn't damage the engine, which is great. So that's cool. What I need to do now is I'm going to come into this table here and change our boost. We're going to bring the boost levels down, 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 so we can try and carry the same amount of boost, the 25 pounds of boost, up into the higher RPM range where we should be able to make some more power. So that's what we're going to make the change on, and hopefully our next pull will make some more power and not cut out on us. This is the first time Oscar and I have seen, so first of all, we might be done here. We are blowing shit off the roof, like we're filling this place with weird garbage and stuff, and the extreme amount of heat, honestly, it's just scary. Like, that's the only way we can just explain it. But I did see something over here. 747, I don't have my keyboard. It looks like we did get 747 horsepower out of that pole. I wish I knew what our frickin' boost was at, but I forgot to do a data log. Ugh. We got no cuts, so we didn't get to 25 pounds of boost. We had no fuel cut, or no boost cut. We might have to do one more, I don't know. It just seems so dumb.
It changes the room temperature from 80 degrees to about 120.
Yeah, it's
no
so
time.
hot. It's just like, this thing breathes fire. It's gonna get a tad bit technical, but what we did was we basically set our boost controller to let the wastegates open about halfway, roughly halfway, let half the gases out, and that will set us at some amount of boost. We don't know because I made a mistake being an amateur at this. I forgot to start a data log, which is normally how we read all of our data. Our dyno can also tell us manifold pressure, but we didn't plug that in because I should have been using my data logger. So we're gonna do both of those things now, and we're gonna do like a little mini pull, a little bit more controlled, what feels like a little bit just less chaotic, less scary, and we'll just kind of see what type of, because basically what I did was I said anything after 3,500 RPM, give me the same amount of boost all the way up. So we're limiting boost. Now what this did prove though, which is really cool, is that the changes that Oscar made to these manifolds from our last dyno tuning session, they worked. It is able to bleed off enough boost to keep a controlled level of boost, and it's not boost spiking anymore. So that's a really big change, and that's a really, really cool thing. So now we're just gonna figure out what basically 45% duty cycle means as far as boost, and then we can raise it up in a controlled way if we so choose to, if we wanna try and set a record. Mini pulls make like 640 horsepower at 4,000 RPM, which is absolutely insane. But what we found out is we're running at, with the wastegate set as it is right now, at about 18 pounds of boost, 18 to 19 pounds of boost. And what we're thinking is, by our calculations, we can only safely go up to 25 pounds of boost. We're not gonna break our, well, we'll break our 800 horsepower record, but we're not gonna break our, like, the 1,000 horsepower goal by just adjusting our boost and leaving everything as it is. What we need to do is change the engine timing, and I don't feel comfortable doing that because as you change the timing you can run into knock scenarios, and then we could blow up the engine. So that is kind of where we're calling it. We know exactly the level to stop it at 750 wheel horsepower, and that's great, and we know we can safely go up from there up to 25 pounds of boost, probably to close to 900 horsepower, but I'm not going to do that at the track day anyways. It's completely undrivable. Like, there's no way you're driving without traction control and bias by tires an 800 horsepower car that's this light. So it's time to move on to the next few things that we got to do for our track day, because we're running really late actually. So yeah. What's next? What's next is reprogramming our dashboard. I'll show you what I need to do real quickly. It's really not that hard. I don't think so, at least, and it's very cool. Next up is configuring my Haltech dashboard. So I started off, this dashboard was actually given to us by Haltech, and I'm going to put a link to them and the dashboard in the description. And as a prototype model before SEMA, so we were the first car to get this dashboard publicly, which was super, super cool. We did these carbon fiber inlays on the side and everything to integrate it into the Huracan dash system, and we just ran it with the defaults, and the defaults on this dash setting for me were absolutely perfect. The only problem is that they measured temperature in Celsius, and I don't understand the conversion. I do know how to do it, it's just like I can't do it quickly in my head. I know that the Fahrenheit temperatures for this engine. So what I did was I jumped into their software for the dashboard for the first time, and actually just it said there's a new version available, and I'm a big fan of using the new version, so I just upgraded the version, and then it changed a lot of the things on my sides here. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is jump into the Haltech software and configure this to be exactly how I want it. I see a lot of things on here that are very close to what I want, but I'm going to configure it all right now. Alright, got my dash updated, so here's what we're going with for the readout on the dash. We still don't have vehicle speed hooked up to this thing, so that's my bad. We got coolant, we got our air-fuel ratio that we're running at, we got manifold pressure, which is going to tell us how much boost we're running, we got fuel pressure, air temperature, that's intake air temperature, race time, don't know how to work that yet, but that'll be cool when we figure it out, throttle position, and then our injector duty cycle, and then the gear that we're in, the engine limit, and then our battery voltage, and then our RPM here in the center, and then there's other cool stuff in here like our check engine lights and stuff, which have been programmed into the ECU, which is kind of a cool thing. It's something I did earlier today. So that's the dash all programmed up. Next up, Oscar is ready to make a chop. Actually, hey Oscar, will you turn the whole system off? There we go, cool. All right, Oscar's ready to make the chop. So when I'm sitting in here, my shoulder hits the shoulder bolstering, which is how it's meant to go, but I need my shoulder to be able to go back so I can hit my shifts, because our shifter is a little bit further backwards than maybe different cars are built to do, or maybe my legs are short, I'm not really sure. Anyways, so we're just gonna do a little choppity chop here. The plan is we're gonna chop this from here to here, a little bit in front of this bend, and then we're gonna fold the fabric over this thing and then back and behind and tie it back into the rest of the system so it doesn't like have a sharp edge, and then I'll be able to throw my arm backwards with reckless intent. We got this thing trimmed out. Oscar's got it trimmed out. We're gonna just leave it because it looks more normal that way. Calling it the ghost support. So yeah, when I go to shift, you'll see this thing just fly backwards. I don't know. I might someday flap it around and sew it back there, but we are running a little bit late for our track day, so it's not time to bust out the needle and thread. Last time we were towing the car, we did not have any tape holding these guys down at all, and the wind, we tow this car in reverse. We have to because all the weight in the engine is in the back on the trailer, so all the wind was flapping this thing around, and it's hard to see, but if you look in there, you can see that the glue doesn't quite reach the carbon fiber. And so it never did, and then that's what let the carbon fiber kind of lift off to the point where it actually cracked this window. So this is on my to-do list of things to fix. I don't have the piece of carbon fiber that I need to be able to fix it right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue this sucker down so it's actually going to seal all the way around, and then we're going to do the little taping for transport. Got the window glued back down, so that's a temporary fix until we can get this whole piece replaced. Before we trailer it tomorrow, we'll remember to put some tape on here. So we got the right wheels on. Now it'll fit on the trailer. We're gonna go ahead and get in the trailer. It's getting a little late, so I think this is where we're gonna cut it. I mean, all we gotta do now is get this thing on the trailer. I gotta pick up some more E85 tomorrow so I don't run out of gas, and then that's it. Drive it, trailer it to the track day, and if anything breaks down, you guys will see that in the episode that airs on the main channel. So thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate the hell out of all you guys. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. See you guys on the next one. Peace!